People really don't know what their expenses will be because they don't know how long that they're going to live.
Americans are worried they won't have enough saved for retirement now more than ever.
Retirement is going to cost, for many folks, over $1 million.
Is no sure thing in investing, but a lot of people think that annuities may come close to that.
It's going to more safe things that they know. If they know they're going to need that money to supplement their retirement, well, then you can't play that risk.
This is the Safe Money and Retirement Show with Jon Heischman Sr., founder and partner of Heischman Financial Services, serving the Columbus and surrounding areas. Jon specializes in educating pre-retirees and retirees about safe money strategies and ideas. Now, it's the Safe Money and Retirement Show. Here's Jon Heischman Sr.
Welcome to the Safe Money and Retirement Show. I'm your host, Jon Heischman. If you knew the mistakes that retirees have made, wouldn't you want to address these mistakes prior to retirement or in the early years of your retirement? Because when you settle in for a leisure retirement is something that most people dream about. But once that moment finally arrives, you want to make sure that you're not going to make the mistakes that other retirees have made. Otherwise, you might be surprised to find that it's not as stress-free as you imagined it to be. And typically, it comes down to money. So how do you prevent those mistakes? How do you find out about those mistakes? The best way is to work with a planner that has worked with other retirees to bring those mistakes to the table, then address those with ideas and concepts that have worked for those that have planned their retirement to avoid those retirement mistakes that others have made. It absolutely should be part of your retirement plan. My job is to make sure you're aware of potential mistakes. Now, whether or not you address those by putting together a plan that will address those mistakes is another thing. And I have to say, most of the time, they can be solved. However, there are situations where a retiree can just do the best possible and I guess hope these mistakes don't happen. One of the big reasons that potential mistakes can't be solved is because it takes money. It takes money to generate lifetime income. It takes money to address the risk of long-term care. It also takes money to address a retiree's legacy goals. So we have to look at what's most important. What is the priority? And look at solving those potential mistakes during retirement. The main thing is to be aware. The majority of the people that retire are not aware of the potential mistakes that can upset a retirement plan. So my thoughts are, let's at least address those. Make sure you're aware and see if you can put together a plan or change your plan to eliminate future mistakes. Also, too many retirees are not aware of the solutions, the strategies that can be done, or I should say, changed to help prevent future mistakes in retirement. The great thing is it costs you nothing to find out where your plan is. Are you on track? to address potential mistakes and what are the options that are out there that can help you based on the retirement assets that you have. That's what I want to help you with. 888-426-0177. I'll give you that number again, 888-426-0177. And please be sure to visit our website, which is HeischmanFS.com. HeischmanFS.com. The sooner we address this situation, and as early as possible in your retirement. So I'd like to hear from you, and we can talk about your concerns. Once again, there is no cost and there's no obligation. One big problem is when you retire, you're now going to have a fixed income. Those raises, possible bonuses are gone. It's up to your retirement plan to give you the raises and be able to take a bonus from those plans for yourself for whatever reason, whether it's a vacation, a purchase, or an emergency. Remember, every dollar counts. And depending on how old you are when you retire or when you did retire, you very well could have another 30 years in retirement. People are living to 95 and age 100. Does your plan cover future inflation? Does your plan cover unforeseen increased medical expenses that will probably arise? And, of course, failing to consider your taxes. I believe this will be a huge mistake in the future. You know, Benjamin Franklin once said that nothing is certain except death and taxes. So we all have to remember that just because you retire does not mean your taxes will cease to exist. The majority of retirees' money is in qualified accounts. That means they are taxable, and you're going to have to take a required minimum distribution if you haven't already. And those distributions are fully taxable. It's critical that you stay on top of the taxes that you'll have to pay on these distributions, whether it's an IRA, 401k, 403b plan, TSP, any other qualified plan that you had with your employer. Obviously, the amount of tax that you're going to have to pay depends on your tax bracket in retirement. Even if you think that your marginal tax rate is going to be lower in retirement than it was when you were working, maybe it will, but it's essential to plan for these tax payments so you don't get caught off guard. Another big mistake is Social Security planning. Income, which is referred to as claiming your retirement benefits. So many people rush to claim Social Security when they're 62 years old because it is the earliest possible stage to get this income. Others choose to wait until they reach full retirement age, which today is around age 66. But if you decide to still work part-time when you're retired, or you have enough earnings from savings to be able to pay living expenses, it could very well be worth holding off on Social Security until you reach age 70. And I'm sure most of you know that you'll get an 8% annual boost in benefits for each year that you wait. And while a strong investment portfolio might also deliver an 8% return, delaying Social Security, it's an excellent way of achieving risk-free 8% growth on your benefit payments. Now, please don't misunderstand me. I am not saying wait until age 70, because there are situations where a retiree has to take the benefit at age 62 or full retirement age. My point is, can you wait, or do you have to take benefits earlier? But we want to address that based on your situation. Nobody else, just yours. And that's a mistake we don't want to make as far as Social Security planning. Run the numbers and look at your situation. I want to help you make the right decision. 888-426-0177, 888-426-0177. I'm going to take a short break at this time, so stay with me because I'm going to continue talking about these mistakes that we want to prevent.
Thanks for listening to the Safe Money and Retirement Show with Jon Heischman. For more information, call 1-888-426-0177. That's 1-888-426-0177. Or visit their website at HeischmanFS.com. More of the Safe Money and Retirement Show in a moment. There are some gains in life that most folks don't mind losing. Extra weight gained or credit card debt gained. The number of miles gained on your car. But losing your retirement gains is no one's dream. Would you like to retain the retirement money you've gained over the years and at the same time create a paycheck for life in retirement? Then call Jon Heischman at Heischman Financial Services, 614-861-7055. Or call toll-free at 1-888-426-0177. His clients don't lose their gains due to market risk. Their gains are locked in with no exposure to risk. Retain your gains. Losing some of the candles gained on your birthday cake would be great. Or losing some of the strokes gained in your golf game would be a dream come true. But losing retirement gains would be a nightmare. Don't risk it. Retain your gains today. Call Jon Heischman at Heischman Financial Services to find out how. Call 614-861-7055. That's 614-861-7055. Or call toll-free at 1-888-426-0177.
Avoiding mistakes can save owners of IRAs, 401ks, and TSP plans, as well as other retirement plans, a fortune in taxes, penalties, fees, and loads. These potential mistakes are addressed in the free book entitled Top 10 IRA Mistakes. This is Jon Heischman from the Safe Money and Retirement Show, offering a complimentary copy by calling 888-426-0177. 888-426-0177. Again, that's 888-426-0177.
Welcome back to the Safe Money and Retirement Show with Jon Heischman. To contact Jon, the number to call is 1-888-426-0177. That's 1-888-426-0177. Once again, here's Jon Heischman.
Welcome back to the Safe Money and Retirement Show. After last week's show, I had an overwhelming request for the book I sponsor. It's entitled Top 10 IRA Mistakes and How to Avoid Tax Traps. It's an easy read, about 98 pages, and many want to read the book first, then contact me to discuss their situation as to how the book applies to them and their retirement accounts. Request your copy. It's free. There is no obligation. And after you read the book, it's up to you. If you want to schedule a telephone conversation or a meeting to get together, let me know. Top 10 IRA Mistakes. You can obtain your copy by calling the number I give, and I'll give that to you again, 888-426-0177. 888-426-0177. And speaking of mistakes, I want to continue my discussion as I was during the first part of my show. I want to make sure my clients do not make the mistake of spending too much money at the beginning of their retirement. Those first couple of years of retirement are the ideal time to pursue some new hobbies, travel, and do the things that you never had the chance or opportunity to do when you were working. Many are in a hurry to accomplish these things while they're young in their retirement and they're healthy, and I think it's great. But if you're not careful about watching your spending, you could end up in a dangerous financial situation down the road, especially if all of your retirement accounts are exposed to risk. In that situation, it's very important to avoid the potential of sequence of returns risk. Early years of retirement, when there could be a down market, you've lost some money and you're overspending or drawing out too much retirement income is going to have a big time effect later on in retirement. That mistake can be prevented if your sources of income are guaranteed. By that, I mean they're guaranteed to come in month after month the rest of your retirement, whether you live to age 100 or not. That monthly income is going to be there. So if we have sequence of returns risk, the market is down, that's okay because it's not going to affect your income. The key word is guaranteed. Regardless of what happens, is that money going to come in? So if we can establish your income to be guaranteed from Social Security pensions and establish guaranteed income from part of your retirement assets, then we can take an amount that's left over and put it in the market for maximum potential growth, for potential future income, and at the same time, have that savings for your hobbies, for travel, and those other things that are going to cost money in the early years of your retirement. I get a lot of referrals and, of course, potential new clients from my radio show, and there are so many that haven't followed this concept. They have accounts that can generate retirement income, but it's not guaranteed. Many retirees that were retired around 2008 saw a devastating effect on their retirement accounts that were not guaranteed. So your accounts drop by 20%, 30%, and you're still depending on that money to give you income for the next 30 years. I think that's a scary situation. I think it's common sense to establish guaranteed sources of income first. Then we address what's left, and there usually is money left to invest and designate towards liquidity. And of course, we want that liquidity to earn a reasonable rate of return. And once again, you owe it to yourself to at least investigate how guaranteed sources of income can apply to your situation. And that leads me to another big mistake. The general rule, you might say a rule of thumb, which I don't necessarily like to follow, but it's a rule of thumb that you'll need to replace 80% of your pre-retirement income to enjoy the same standard of living that you had before retiring. But believe me, this rule does not apply to everyone. A big part of retirement planning is deciding how much you need to contribute to aggressive risk-based accounts. On the other hand, if you're too conservative, you're sacrificing growth. So I think the planning that I've done for my clients has put them in a situation where they are not being too aggressive and not too conservative. Establish that guaranteed income, then determine your risk tolerance and invest that amount into an investment plan that works for you. It's the best of both worlds. You've got guaranteed income just like you had when you were working before retirement, and an investment account that is managed, which our firm can do for you, and to get the most possible maximum growth based on your risk tolerance. And let's say you have one of those years where your investment account is down 10% or 15%. Nobody wants that. Nobody likes that, but it's a real possibility. The good thing is it's not going to affect your income coming in each month. If you're early in retirement, you may want to be a little bit more aggressive than someone that has been retired for 10 years, for example. There is time to recoup losses compared to those that have been retired for 10 years and have a low risk tolerance at that point. It's a plan that works, that creates security, peace of mind, and allow you to do what you want to do in retirement, accomplishing your goals. And it looks like I'm about out of time for the Safe Money and Retirement Show today. So let me give you the number to call one more time to request the book or to schedule a time for us to get together. 888-426-0177, 888-426-0177. As always, thank you for joining me. I really enjoy bringing you this show and hope it's going to benefit you in your retirement. Don't forget to tune in next week, same time, same station. I'm your host, Jon Heischman.
The Safe Money and Retirement Show with Jon Heischman Sr. To get in touch with Jon, call 1-888-426-0177. That's 1-888-426-0177. For more information about Heischman Financial Services, visit their website, HeischmanFS.com. That's HeischmanFS.com. Join us again next time for the Safe Money and Retirement Show with Jon Heischman Sr.